Hey y'all, so I really wanted some gumbo, so I am about to make some. And it's like 10 o'clock at night, but I'm going to enjoy this gumbo here. So what I have, the red beans are not gonna go in the gumbo. I've had gumbo, like vegan gumbo from restaurants that they have put beans in it. I was just not raised to eat gumbo like that. I mean, yes, I was raised to eat clearly, seafood gumbo with real chicken and shrimp and stuff like that. But I'm gonna make some red beans right on the side. And probably some fried cabbage too, because I'm just like in that type of mood. So of course I'm gonna start off with I have some celery, peppers, and onions. I got some green onions as well. And to make my roux, I'm gonna be using the country crock plant-based butter. I bought this one not because it's my favorite, just because it was the one that was on sale. So that's just usually how I go with it. I just, whichever vegan butter is on sale that week or whatever, I will get it. And then my unbleached all-purpose flour. You can use oil and flour. Some people buy store-bought roux, and I actually bought one. I'm not gonna be using this roux. I actually just kind of buy it like just to have it in my house. Like, there's one time I really messed up my roux, and I was cooking so many things that day, including gumbo, and I was so pissed off that I burned my roux because I was dealing with the kids. And so I just ran to Kroger and bought a roux basically, and I used it and kind of just saved the day because I was very frustrated. So I bought it just to kind of like show you guys, and just in case, I don't know, something happens and I mess up this roux. So yeah, it's just gonna be oil and a flour. This one I got from Whole Foods, so it's gonna be once again unbleached flour and oil. However, I just prefer to make my own with my unbleached all-purpose flour, and my plant-based butter. Moving along, this is no fish broth. I bought this from Whole Foods as well. It's vegan, and the ingredients are things like seaweed and like shrooms and stuff like that. Here you go. Shiitake mushroom, white mushroom, etc. This is gonna give it like, you know, I was used to anyways, like a seafood-ish flavor. So we're gonna use that. Plus we're gonna use some good old vegetable broth, plus some chicken broth that's not chicken. This is plant-based as well. And you see the ingredients here, but it really tastes very similar to chicken broth. And I also grew up having chicken in my gumbo. So okay, so these are not my number one choices for chicken. I actually use another one. I can try to insert the picture here if I can remember the name of it. But they only had this one and like another one that the flavor profile would just be way off. So I was thinking like, okay, it's fine. I can just still season it up accordingly and put it in the gumbo, and and it will just kind of take on the flavor of all the other things. So it's fine. So I bought 2 packs of those and 2 packs of sausage. I felt like Beyond sausage would not be that good in gumbo. I just don't feel like it would. And I've used this before. So when cooking gumbo, and plus it's less expensive, and it comes with like 4 links. So this is a field roast. I think field roast is soy free. I'm pretty sure it is. It's because I think it's like wheat based. Yeah, it's wheat based. And then I'm also, for my crab, because I was raised having crab like crab meat in my gumbo. So what we're going to use is hearts of palm. And so you see how they look there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shred them. I'll show you guys. I'm going to shred them and marinate them in this lemon, olive based seasoning, kelp. You can also use seaweed. I have seaweed here, but this is pretty much the same thing or similar. So you marinate in there for a few minutes, you shred it up, and it really gives the texture and flavor profile of crab. And then you throw that in at the very last thing. That's the very last thing that you throw in. And then for my red beans and rice, I'm just gonna throw them in the pressure cooker with a little broth cube thingy. These are vegan. You can find them at Kroger and Whole Foods and Sprouts. So, and I'll be using organic brown rice that I purchased from Whole Foods. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is how I shred the hearts of palm here. So you see here it's whole, and you just take. Well, let me show you the end result as well. Here, just have like this. This is about 3 cans, and so you just take your whole, take a good old fork, and then you will just, you know, puncture it, and then you'll just shred. You see how it's shredding like that? Just shred, and so it kind of comes out like chunks of crab meat. See, and you can also just kind of like chop it too. So like when you shred one side, and just you can just, hopefully you guys can see this. See, you can just also chop it like so. Sorry, I'm using my non-dominant hand, so hopefully I'm showing correctly. But chop it up like, you know, nice pieces of crab meat. Okay, so I have the hearts of palm, lemon. So I'm just gonna cut that in half and just squeeze it on in there. And honestly, the hearts of palm already has like a seafoodish flavor, in my opinion. Which is why it can be used for things like making crab cakes as well. I personally haven't done crab cakes with hearts of palm, but I've had them made. I've tasted them. And so then I get this from Whole Foods. And all it is literally just organic raw kelp. Put some of that in there. I'm not gonna put like too much because kelp naturally has like kind of a salty flavor, and I'm gonna put Old Bay in it, which has salt in it. So and just kind of give it a mix. And so this is just gonna sit the whole time. And of course you can put more things in it, like if you wanted to add some olive oil, grapeseed oil, or like even a little bit of like the vegan fish broth, you could do that. I don't really think all that is necessary, to be honest. Like this is just fine. Especially because you're gonna be adding it to the pot of gumbo, but you're gonna let this sit the whole time, like just in your fridge while your gumbo is cooking. And unlike traditional gumbo made with like, you know, animal products and stuff, it's not gonna take very long to cook because like our sausage and stuff like that is already kind of like made, right? And everything doesn't really have to soak in the flavors as much. So, yep. Okay, so I have my red beans in my pressure cooker here. So I put a few bay leaves. Y'all be cooking with like 1 or 2 bay leaves. I go ahead and throw 4 or 5 in there. I chopped up some yellow onion. There you see the vegan chicken vegetable cube thing. Onion powder, garlic powder, a little bit of cumin. You don't want to put too much cumin because you don't want it to be like a Mexican bean type flavor. Smoked paprika. It's different from regular paprika. Onion powder, and I put pink salt as well. And so now I'm just gonna put some water in it. I don't want to put vegetable broth because I already have the cube in there. Plus I put salt. So I put water, and then after it cooks, if it needs to be adjusted, then I'll adjust it. And these are just gonna go in the pressure cooker for probably like 30 minutes. Okay, y'all, so I definitely lied about the butter. Okay, so one way to make vegan macaroni, when you're making a roux for macaroni, you don't have to make a roux, but I typically do use butter and flour to make a roux for my macaroni. However, for gumbo, you use oil. I mean, I guess you technically could use vegan butter because it's really just it's it's a mixture of oils. It's a mixture of oils, but but it has like a buttery taste or whatever. So, I mean, either way. But anyways, to make roux for gumbo, you just put equal parts of oil and flour. I'm gonna use olive oil because that's what I have. I also have avocado oil, but I don't think I've used avocado oil for making a roux, and so I'm not gonna try it tonight. So yeah, so turn on my stove, and I'm gonna just put equal parts. So it really doesn't matter. I mean, it just depends on how much roux you're trying to make. So this is what 2/3 cup here. I'll probably like do 2 of these. And then I'm just gonna let probably do 2 of these. You let the oil heat up just a little bit. So right now I have my stove on medium. Let that heat up a little bit. And then throw in your flour, equal parts. So I'm not gonna throw it in there yet because it's not ready. The oil is not heated up. And then this is okay. So when you're making the roux, you cannot like be dealing with kids. Like they need to be sitting their behinds down somewhere because like this is not the time for going to the bathroom. Like you have to watch this pot because the minute you step away, it will burn. Like and you just mess up your roux. You have to start all over again because if you burn your roux and you decide to I'm gonna still use it, no, your gumbo's gonna be nasty as hell. It's gonna be disgusting. So please don't do that. So when you're deciding, I hear my oil popping, so I'm just go ahead and probably throw my flour in there. But when you start your roux, knowing okay, I'm starting this, I am staying in the spot for a good 10 to 12 minutes. You are babysitting this pot like it's a newborn baby that's not yours, that you just found on the tree or something like that. So yeah, my oil is heating up. And then you also need a handy dandy whisk. I will use a whisk the whole time. Sometimes I'll like do a whisk and like a wooden spatula. Okay, my oil is getting hot, so I need to put this in here. So sorry. Okay. I'm not that great with like filming and like cooking, so that's something that y'all just gonna have to work with me on. But I gotta put 2 of those because remember we have to do equal parts. Okay, so automatically this stuff is trying to bust, but you know it's trying to cook up in here, right? So you're just gonna stir, stir. You don't want to stir too hard because you don't want to burn yourself. You don't want roux battle scars all on your arms. That's not what we're going for. We just want some gumbo. That's it. Already, honestly, I'm gonna turn it down some because already it's giving me like it's browning up. I don't want it to brown up that fast. Like I said, it's supposed to be like a 10 to 12 minute type of ordeal. Sometimes depending on how much roux you're gonna make. I'm literally standing on my tippy toes here trying to look into this pot. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. So as you stir, like naturally, the flour is going to continue to like try to fall to the bottom of the pot. So in the beginning, you're stirring. And then you let it sit for a few seconds and stir. So like I said, you have to babysit the pot or it will burn. It's gonna be nasty. You gotta start all over. You're gonna get mad. Then you're gonna go out and you're gonna buy a store-bought roux, which you don't want to do. Unless you're feeding a whole bunch of people and you done mess up the roux and you're frustrated and you cook a whole bunch of food, then by all means, do you boo. But I feel like just making your own is very cheap and very simple, but you just have to, like I said, sit here and and babysit it and watch it. And so as it's changing colors, see, it's already changing colors. So right now we got like a little caramel frappe going on. You know, some people like peanut butter color. I always like chocolatey color. I've had peanut butter color, Roux, Gumbo. It's good. I just like, you know, I like it dark. Like my man. I like my Roux dark, so that's what we're gonna be aiming for. So it's gonna just keep sitting. See, I hear them kids, and I'm not about to tend to them, because if I tend to them, my Roux's gonna burn, and yeah. Okay, so now we're like peanut butter color. At first, remember, we were like caramel frappe, but now we're like at a deep, well, like, yeah, peanut butter. Now it's kind of smelling like, you know, like cooking flour and oil. I did turn it down to low. I'm just gonna keep stirring and stirring and stirring. Okay, now we're like deeper than peanut butter. And so some people I would probably go ahead and start my gumbo now. This is like a desired color for me. I color like a little bit darker, but I don't want to burn it. So I'm gonna just go ahead and start it now. Okay, so I got the plant-based sausage chopped up here. I tasted the plant-based chicken, and it's actually not an off flavor profile like I thought it was gonna be. So that's good. And then I also went ahead and chopped up equal parts of celery, green bell pepper, and yellow onions. Okay, and this is not gonna go in the skillet right now. I'm going to go ahead and saute up the sausage. So this will be the point where, like, you know, you're doing, you know, your sausage, shrimp, chicken, whatever. And you could do vegan shrimp. I'm not a huge fan of vegan shrimp, and I'm not about to spend money on it if I don't really care for it so much. So, yeah, I'm just gonna do the sausage and chicken, and then of course, like I said, I'll backdoor do my crab meat. I was thinking about putting some okra in there. I don't know. I'm kind of in the mood for some okra, but I'll think about it. So I'm about to get this nice and you know, like a good little crisp on it, and then we're gonna bring back our roux. When I get my roux back out of my other pot, then we're going to put our trinity in our roux. Okay, so this is what I'm looking for. You see how it's getting kind of like, you know, how like those brown spots on there. Just like you would want for, you know, your typical chicken and sausage. Just get a nice little sear on there. So now I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. I also added some elbow seasoning to it. Not too much, because I don't want it to be too salty, but I did want to give it that flavor profile. So I'm turn it off, and then I'm gonna go ahead and come over to my roux pot, and I'm gonna turn that on. And so I had don't mind, this is the camera I just blew out. And my red beans are done. So yeah, this is where I had the roux. I just had it sitting to the side. So you'll see, just like in the pot, see the flour will naturally just sift to the bottom. This is okay. And like, you can make roux the day before, right? And so this is what would happen. It would just have that natural separation. It's completely normal. Oh, that roux is so big and dark. So I'm gonna just add this to this. I'm just kind of incorporating it back in. And add it back into the pot. And so we'll let that warm up just a little bit. It's still pretty warm, so it won't take that long. And so what we're doing now is we're gonna, once this heats up just a little bit, we're gonna add our trio, which is the, you know, green peppers, onions, and celery. And then we're gonna let that sweat out. Okay, so it's heating up. I just had pizza sauce and it was so good. Oh my gosh. So my trio here. I'm gonna put the phone down because I don't want to burn myself. Because I'm actually not wearing clothes right now. So just know that you have to add this to the pot and don't burn yourself. Okay, so I got that in there burn free. And I actually need like a spatula or something for this. So we're going to basically let this like sweat out. Sorry guys, like I really have to get used to recording cooking. The camera's probably all off and not centered. I'm so sorry, but this is very, very new to me. So yeah, we're just gonna let this cook down, like let it sweat out, and then like after the trio sweats out, then I would add like some fresh chopped garlic, but I just realized I don't have any, and so if you can't do that, I'll just, you know, do the seasoning. That's cool too. It's fine. And then also, so after this sweats out, you can use your fresh chopped garlic, just a few cloves, and then that's typically when people, if you want to use to like stewed tomatoes or chopped tomatoes, you can add it. I do not care for tomatoes in my gumbo, or really hate tomato based gumbo. I hate it. But if you just add like a can, it's not gonna be like tomato based. But I don't care if it's tomato in my gumbo, so I'm not gonna put it in there. So clearly y'all see me jamming here because that's what I be doing. I be cooking and dancing and dancing and cooking. A lot of people think I really love to cook, but honestly, I just like to eat. Okay, so vegetables are sorted out for the most part. I mean, honestly, I could wait a little bit longer, but I'm not because I don't feel like it. Um, so say you had your cloves of garlic, they would already been here. This is the point where you would put, if you're going to do the tomatoes, and you can add like a can of, you know, chopped or stewed tomatoes or what have you. And then we are going to add our plant-based sausage. Oh, that's heavy. So I definitely can't show y'all how to do that on camera because my arm is about to break. Once again, y'all bear with me because I don't be recording myself cooking. So just know that you have to add this and this. Okay, so this is my version of showing y'all, you know, me putting the sausage and chicken in the pot. Because this thing was heavy and my wrist is finna snap, okay? But yeah, just put that in there. Get your little stir going on. And you're not gonna like, you know, mix that around as long as you would the Trinity. It's just to get everything nice and incorporated. Okay. So then we're gonna mix all this up. So this smells really good. Okay, so I'm going to put my vegetable broths in here. So I have the one that's like a seafood flavor and the chicken flavor one. And I'm going to just put equal parts of both. I don't know if I'm going to use the whole carton. I'll start off with like half of each. I forgot to mention that I used poultry seasoning earlier in my red beans. And then I also forgot to mention we definitely want to use some gumbo filet, which I really hope that I have. I feel like, oh yeah, I do. So this is gumbo filet. You do need gumbo filet to make gumbo. Not too much, just a little bit. So I'm gonna add these seasonings in there and then stir it up, and then I'm gonna let it simmer. I'm gonna cover and let it simmer for a little bit. Okay, so this is what we're looking at right after I put the seasonings in. I know I mentioned the gumbo filet, but I should have also said that the gumbo filet you only use at the end. Everything else you put in now. This would be a good time to taste it, so I'm gonna taste it to see if I need to add any kind of salt. I feel like I shouldn't have to, because like I have like different type of broths in there, and then I also already have the natural occurring salt, plus I added Old Bay, but we'll see. And so, oh, this is the gumbo color that I love so much. Oh my gosh. So yeah, we add gumbo filet towards the very end, like when we're about to be done, and it just helps give it that like oh, this is gumbo, and also like thickens it up a little bit. You can also add it to your bowl. I've never just added it to a bowl before, but I mean, I know that people do that, but I've just you know, just growing up, like watching my mom cook gumbo. Of course, we're not like from New Orleans or anything like that, but I'm just used to seeing people here in Texas putting it in the pot. So all right, so red beans, they just came out the pressure cooker. I know there's a lot of steam going on here, but oh my god, that's so good. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I love red beans, y'all. Like, I really just. So we're not gonna keep all this liquid. I'm gonna remove it from the liquid, and I'm gonna cook it down a little bit in my skillet or pot, and give it some more flavoring if it needs to be. And let it kind of like thicken up, so I can just pour it on over some brown rice, y'all. Use a little bit of the broth that you had cooked the beans in, and I added some cornstarch and some butter to get it nice and thick. Okay, so it's been simmering for, I don't know, maybe 10-15 minutes. It doesn't have to be that long. I'm gonna put in my crab meats, which is, as we know, it's heart of palm. It's been sitting the whole time we've been cooking, and I did put some gumbo filet in there. I'm gonna turn it to where I can actually see it. I feel like I put like I don't know, maybe a teaspoon full. And so this is just gonna stir in there. And then I'm gonna let it simmer for like maybe 5 more minutes, or a few more minutes, whatever my ancestors tell me. It smells really good though. Okay, so everything's about done. I just got some brown rice cooking on the stove. I just cooked it in a little bit of, you know, broth and water. This is my plate the night of, when everything is nice and hot. And here's a plate the next day before it's warmed up.